This is Eric Mwatha with Mwatha.com. Again, we're going to take a look at a stock that I think is setting up to do something in the coming days, if not maybe in the coming weeks, but it's one really looks to be preparing itself, I think, for a run. Stock again that I have had in the, I think, as a public stock to watch video in the last couple of weeks. I don't know when, but recently the stock is SVA. We are going to start off with a 2-year weekly chart to get us started. What you're going to see is that the stock has been basing over the last couple of 5 weeks or so, right around here. It's forming this nice tight formation there, and it has been meeting resistance around the weekly buy point, which is a weekly closing high at about 625, and which is eventually gonna be our entry point should the stock move above that on weekly volume. What you're gonna see is that during this base formation here, market's been kind of choppy, but the stock has held up very well, and hence the reason why I think it's one we should really take a look at, because the stocks that hold up well during market corrections usually tend to be the first ones out of their bases. So watch this for a buy above 625 on a daily volume. That should be above average, so we want our volume to be good. The thing I like about this stock is that the RSI is already very high, actually at about 78. It should be at 68, but this one is at 78. It's very strong. You see that our weekly on balance volume should make to new highs very easily with any price surge. You see that performance against the S&P 500 is already at a new high because the market's been trending lower and the stock has held up very well, exceptionally well, and that's why we see that this is already at a new high compared to the market performance. A very strong indication. And so our MACD on the weekly has already crossed over, so watch that. I want us to go back and look at the prior breakout again. We see that when it broke out prior here in September, we had a breakout on week 1, and week 2 turned out to be a follow-through week, a confirmation week, exactly what we want to see when a quality stock moves out of a base. We also see that volume was heavy on week 1 and week 2 of the breakout. At the time of this price breakout, the RSI moved way above 68. It was very high during the breakout, hence the strong move. We also see that at the time on balance volume jumped to a new 1-year high. Performance against the S&P 500 also inched its way to new highs at the time of the breakout. And we see that our MACD had just previously crossed over around there. So when this all came together, we see that the stock had a nice run, moving from just under 350 and touching the 650 area in about 3 or 4 weeks. Nice move in a short time. Let's go back now and look at what's happening on the daily chart. Again, we are looking at SVA, and now we are looking at a 6-month daily chart to kind of give us a glimpse on what's going on the short-term basis. We see that I'm going to start off with what happened mid-October. We see that the stock was forming a nice pennant. Let me draw that right here. You see this nice formation, consolidation, like a wedge, kind of bullish wedge, and eventually that was broken to the upside on volume, and you see that volume is that volume right there. So people are expecting this to move to new highs, but that didn't work out. It kind of failed. But what has happened is now we come back and formed another huge, bigger pennant right there as the price is being squeezed and squeezed and squeezed and squeezed and squeezed, and ultimately usually we either get a move to the upside or a breakdown to the downside. But what has happened today excuse me, is that while the market was really trending lower, the stock just managed to inch its way out of this forming wedge right here. As this wedge was being, you see the stock just moved above that and is now has confirmed intention to move out of that base, and this has come on strong daily volume. So take a look at that. Volume is strong and we are moving out of this tight bullish wedge pennant formation here. My expectation is that this is just not a waste of time. Something is happening to the stock, and more than likely we are gonna see further thrust in price. That's why I'm putting out this as an idea for you to watch. And we see that what we need to do is we need our RSI to move above 68 and trade around this area, and this is where we're going to be making money fast. Our on balance volume should move to new highs during this breakout. We see that we are already outperforming the S&P 500 due to the current strength in the stock, and we see that our MACD, the MACD has already crossed over, and the main MACD is just now looking like it might cross over. So when this confirmation of crossover comes, the stock is gonna be pretty much headed to new highs. So take a look at SVA and see whether it's gonna be able to make you some money. Hopefully it will. Yeah, this is ERIC Eric Mwathe with Mwathe.com. As always, GG! Peace and blessings to you. I am out for now, but I'll be back.